Hello and welcome to the vlog. I'm moored up about 4 miles away from the start of the Hatton lock flight. It's 21 wide locks in fairly quick succession. I did it last year, so if you've seen that vlog, it's going to be pretty much the same thing this year, except that this year I've enlisted some help to do the locking, and we'll meet the help in a few minutes. If you saw my vlogs last year, then some of these shots are going to look very familiar, as I was now back on the same route as I took at the end of that journey. Here, for example, is where I spotted a goat who was both chewing the grass and having a poo at the same time. But the goats had all moved round the corner this year. I'm pretty sure these were rotting here last year, so it's very sad to see them still in such a state. I'm coming up to the Shrewley Tunnel, which I remember from last year was extremely soggy. It was like Niagara Falls in there, and that's why I'm wearing the hat. There's the tunnel, with the separate hole for the towpath and the horses once upon a time. I can confirm that the tunnel is still quite soggy in places. It also, I notice, has a fantastic reverberation if you sneeze really loudly. Great name. And there's the top of the Hatton flight. I paused here for a while, waiting for the crew. No, he's not the crew. I couldn't get in any closer in case he scarpered, so this is on a rather long zoom lens. While I was waiting, I filled up the tank from this water point. 21 locks in the space of 2 miles, all double width and nary a soul to be seen. Except, wait a minute, who's this coming up the towpath? Could this be my crew? It could! It's only Anna and Kath from the Narrowboat experience. Hello, crew!
Hi there!
How are you?
Good, we got your SOS.
And without further ado, the ladies leapt to work, getting the first lock gate open for me and providing the royal nod of approval. There goes Kath, running for the paddle gear like a gazelle chased by a lion. That's a hell of a handbag she's got, but she keeps a windlass in it. Muggers beware. Come on, Anna, put your back into it. I had the important job of drinking tea and watching as the ladies' mugs went cold. There's the Locks Cafe, and outside a sign that many boaters would agree with, not just here, but at all times. Don't send me hate mail, cyclists, it's a joke. Not really. We were making progress, but Anna appeared to have underestimated the task. 2 locks in, how's it going?
1 lock left.
Bless her. Kath had the right idea, getting the next lock sorted while I exited this one. And being good boaters, Anna was making sure the paddles were lowered behind us. I tell you what, it's a lot easier to do double locks when you have crew doing it for you. Even if it's the girls from the Narrowboat experience, it does help. I'll be in trouble for that, I know. While Kath took her duties seriously, Anna busied herself filming for their vlog of the day, which you can see on their channel, and there's a link to that in the video description below. This was weird. The water level so high in the previous pound that I was at eye level with the ducks as the boat descended. Here's the Canal and River Trust's office with a working boat moored outside. And this is quite excellent, or rather freaky, depending on your preference, a metal sculpture in the lock pound. They're not taking it easy, surely not. No, just waiting for the lock to empty before they can open the gate. With the sun out, albeit hazy, a bit of factor 50 was called for. Incredibly, looking at all that lay ahead, I began to feel guilty that my windlasses lay untouched. Was I, just perhaps, being lazy? Can't have that, so I let Kath take the helm of my boat, my home, my everything. My goodness, I hope she knew what she was doing. She had a calm look about her and checked the boat wasn't catching on the sill, but the real challenge would be manoeuvring an unfamiliar boat. Here goes. It's really weird as a solo boater watching your boat moving while you're not on it. I never get to see it from this angle normally. Smoothly out, and for the next couple of locks at least, Anna opened both gates while Kath got used to the boat's handling. But Kath knows what she's doing, and soon we only bothered opening one. No problemo. You know, those two could do boat moving for a living. Here's more of a challenge though. The first time Kath got to steer my boat around another as they crossed in the lock pound. She took it very gently, so much so I didn't think she was coming out for a while, but then took the bull by the horns and steered with expert precision. Perfect. I probably should have mentioned this little surprise in advance though. I was so enjoying seeing my boat as other people see it. It's really weird. That cratch cover needed cleaning. I'd get it done in the following weeks with a product sent to me for review. Vlog soon. Now, how was Kath doing?
Oh, she's done really well. She's done really well because the standard was set so low. Oh no, she's done really well.
Nerve-wracking. Very nerve-wracking. It's very nerve-wracking driving someone else's home, isn't it? And you don't want to scratch it or bump it.
But you were
and
perfect.
They're watching you.
But you were perfect.
Well, yeah, that you can't get away from skill.
Health and safety abounds these days, although I can't help thinking that anyone who doesn't appreciate the risk of falling here without the need for a sign probably shouldn't be operating a lock. This is named Ugly Bridge, though I think any judgment on looks is rather hurtful and unnecessary. It's a perfectly good bridge. We've been going for just over 3 hours. We've got just 4 locks left, so this is going very well. And still they hadn't tired. Kath rejoined Anna in windlass wielding, and like troopers, the crew were keeping me going down the flight. There's the final lock ahead. Come on, Kath, one last hurrah and I'll buy you a fresh cup of tea. And as we edged into the Saltisford Arm, what did the crew think of Hatton?
It was really lovely.
I'm glad we avoided them when we were hire boaters.
Yes, this is actually the first place we hired a boat from, and the lady said, would you like to go right or left?
We went away from the flight of locks.
So it was really nice. I thought they were really heavy doors, but they...
Not as heavy as the ones on the Grand Union.
Yeah, they weren't difficult. They weren't difficult gates.
And what's it been like being my crew?
Oh, your crew.
Exhausting. He's such a taskmaster.
Demanding.
Faster. Open the gates faster.
And then he's like, why are you doing it that way? And we're like, we're just doing our best, Cece. So I didn't.
It's been wonderful.
Of course it was. How could it be anything but? After a night in Warwick, the final home stretch beckoned. There's the Cape pub, next to the 2 Cape locks. I was lucky enough to be joined by another solo boater for the descent, and we each did our bit. 2 boats going up meant we could leave the final gates open for them, and I headed on through the outskirts of Warwick. At Bridge 49 there's a hire firm. You see plenty of their boats out and about on the system. And a wharf just after, doing boat repairs, surveys, that kind of thing. A very handy Tesco Supermarket on the corner here with mooring. After that you're straight into Leamington Spa. If your budget didn't stretch to Tesco, never fear, there's a Lidl you can stop at here too. I wonder how many people in Leamington even know the canal's here, with all these trees to hide it. It's a bit narrow in parts, but there's space to pass. Out of the town and up to more locks at Radford. This is the start of 11 locks in the next 5 miles. Isn't that the CRT stealth boat that was following me at the Anderton boat lift? I stopped after this one, just short of Foss Wharf. It's another beautiful morning, though the forecast for the next 3 days is rain, so I'm going to have to see if I can do a load of distance and locks today. Apart from a guy at the last lock trying to hassle me through because he wanted to hurry down as I was coming up, apart from that it's been a reasonable start. The lock was ready and waiting for me because a working boat from Braunston had just come down. The exodus of boats from Braunston's classic show at the end of June meant a lot of locks would be set my way. But not this one, the staircase of 2 at Bascote, where the top lock empties directly into the lower one. Like any staircase, you just have to ensure they're both set correctly before you begin. 7 wide locks in 2 hours is a bit of a record for me, and I'm sufficiently enthused by that I am going to try and do all the rest of the ones. What have we got, like Itchington, 2 at Itchington, and then 8 in the flight at Stockton. And then I'm practically, near as damn it, barring a couple more locks, back to Braunston. Pussycat, who didn't give a monkeys that I was coming past. He was on a mission. I remember this spot. I stopped here overnight last year, and it was very nice, clearly popular as well. That's Kay's Arm at the bottom of the Stockton flight of 8. There are loads of boats coming the other way, including a familiar face.
How are you?
I'm good, you?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. How funny, there we were. Will we meet? And here we are.
With another boat joining me after just a couple of locks, the Stockton flight was soon dealt with, and I stopped again. My penultimate day's cruising dawned overcast, but it wasn't supposed to rain. At the top of Stockton flight, you go past Willow Wren Training, and this is Nelson's Arm that they've been digging out and renovating and doing a very nice job of. I'd love a mooring there, but it's not cheap. Here on the other side, a bit further on, is Ventnor Farm Marina. And opposite that is Calcutta Boats, which was where I went on my narrowboat experience day 2.5 years ago. Heading briefly south, you turn at Knapton Junction onto what is both the Grand Union and Oxford canals combined until you get to Braunston. Past Wigram's Turn, it's a nice looking marina. I've popped in there by car a few times. And then there's just over 4 beautiful countryside miles to go to Braunston. Are you friendly? No then. I stopped here for my final night because I like this spot. And the next day did the last 2 miles back to my starting point. Look, there's Braunston Church. And there's the famous double bridge. The vlogs will continue, but with DIY and fireside chats.